Welcome to the deep dive. Tonight, we're stepping away from the everyday. We're looking into things that are genuinely unsettling. We've gathered some accounts, some investigations, stories that really stick with you. Our goal today is to unpack three very different, very chilling experiences. We're talking encounters with the unknown, run-ins with, well, dangerous people, and even hints of hidden disasters. So let's get into it. Okay, first up, we're heading to Alberta, Canada. Picture this. Beautiful, snowy landscape. There's this father, originally from a small town there, Athabasca. He'd moved his family way over to Melbourne, Australia. But he brings his kids back, Angie, who's 7, and little Zach, just 4, for Christmas 2017. He wants them to see a real Canadian winter. So they book this winter glamping thing at a place called Jote Lodge. Snow everywhere. The kids are loving it, of course. Building snowmen, snowball fights, the whole deal. So one afternoon, it's starting to get dark. The dad just pops away for a moment, checks on his wife. The kids are playing maybe, 50 yards from their yurt. He comes back literally moments later. And Angie's there, starting another snowman.
But Zach's vanished. That instant panic, He sees Zach's little boot prints in the snow, follows them, and they lead straight towards this icy stream. Now, it wasn't huge, but definitely big enough for a 4-year-old to fall in, get swept away. Terrible. The dad's just frantic, running up and down the bank, yelling Zach's name. Angie's watching all this, terrified. And then they get a call. Relief, just massive relief washes over him. But then, a confusion and this kind of creeping dread. Zach's been found, but he is on the other side of the stream, totally unharmed, apparently just muddling through the snow. Later that night, Dad's tucking Zach in. Zach's almost asleep, and the father just has to ask, "Buddy, how did you get across that stream?" And Zach, all sleepy and matter-of-fact, says the words that just freeze him. "The snowman carried me."
And it's that phrase, isn't it? The snowman carried me. So simple, so direct. From a child's perspective, there's often this unfiltered reporting of events. They might not grasp the implications, the danger, in the way an adult would, which makes the testimony itself strangely powerful. The lack of fear Zach showed, the not crying, it's unusual. It makes you wonder about the nature of the interaction. Was it non-threatening somehow, or did the child just process it completely differently?
Yeah, exactly. The father tried, gently probing. Was it a person in white, someone with snow in their hair? But Zach just shook his head. "The snowman carried me!" And then he fell asleep. Like it was nothing extraordinary. Understandably, the family, they packed up immediately, left the glamping site, didn't stay another night. And this is where it gets really concrete and really creepy. The police investigated, and they confirmed it. On the far side of the stream, next to Zach's little footprints, there were other footprints, much larger, unknown. Zach later told them the person wore light clothes, maybe a white hat. Picked him up, carried him through the woods, put him down, walked off. No struggle, nothing. Who was the snowman? We still don't know. So that story leaves us with this unsettling feeling of something unseen, something unexplainable. But our next account, it brings the terror right into focus. It's very real, very human. We're going to the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. 2 college buddies, inspired by survival shows, decide to try winter camping near Echo Lake Park in the dead of winter, which, as they later admitted, was a profoundly bad idea. It was miserable. They were wet, freezing cold, couldn't sleep. After a couple of nights, they just decided, right, let's bail. Pack up at dawn, get back to warmth. So, first light, they're breaking camp. One of them, Connell, wanders off to, relieve himself. He comes back just moments later, crouches down near the tent and whispers really urgently, "Is your knife handy?" Right there. The narrator thinks, okay, maybe a bear, but Connell says, "No, there's a dude." Then he adds, "He was watching me take a piss." The narrator almost laughs, thinks maybe it's just some weird hiker. But then Connell drops a bombshell. The guy had a gun.
Okay, so a gun in the Rockies isn't automatically sinister. You have hunters, people who carry for protection in the backcountry. But the behavior here is the key. Being watched silently while vulnerable. And the immediate mention of the gun, plus the fact the guy was masked wearing a ski mask or balaclava covering his face. That changes everything. It signals intent. It's not just a chance encounter anymore. It feels predatory.
Absolutely. And it went bad, fast. Connell yells, "Get out of the tent, now!" They scramble out, and there he is, this figure, face totally covered, silent. They're yelling, "Hey man, no trouble, we're leaving." But he doesn't respond, doesn't say a word. Then he just raises the rifle, aims, and they run. Pure terror. The first shot cracks through the trees. Then a second. The narrator feels this impact in his left thigh, goes down, thinks his leg is shattered, but adrenaline is incredible. He pushes himself up, keeps running, feels the blood warm at first, and then freezing in the cold air.
It's worth noting how difficult investigations are in these settings. A masked attacker, remote location, snow possibly covering tracks. Forensics are minimal, eyewitness description, almost nothing. It's incredibly hard to identify someone. These kinds of attacks, seemingly random in the wilderness, they often suggest a perpetrator who is specifically looking for isolation to commit a crime with little chance of being caught. It's a chilling calculation.
Yeah, terrifyingly calculated. They somehow managed to scramble down the mountain. Maybe he couldn't get another clear shot, or maybe he just left. Who knows? Doctors later found the bullet had actually hit a tree first, splintered, and a piece tore through his thigh. If it had been slightly different, a direct hit to the femoral artery. He could have bled out in minutes. The police did question hunters in the area, but nothing came of it. No arrests, just this unsolved mystery of a silent, masked man who opened fire on them. And that awful thought, maybe he just wanted to see what it feels like to kill stuff. Okay, so from that kind of raw, immediate violence, we shift gears. Our final story involves a different kind of cold, a different kind of fear. This one's about buried secrets, literally. We're looking at suppressed Soviet-era data from Kazakhstan. After the USSR collapsed, the leader there, Nursultan Nazarbayev, apparently kept a tight lid on a lot of scientific information for years. Enter Andrew. He's a research associate at the University of British Columbia, studies atmospheric science. His job was to translate and validate this huge pile of old Soviet data. Most of it, he said, was pretty standard, boring stuff. But then he finds these two reports, and they just jump out at him. In a way nothing else had. They're about this big research facility way out in the Kazakh steppe, a place called Benin province. Apparently this facility is now claimed by some mysterious gas company, Sinotruva, which Andrew couldn't find any trace of online. Vanished. Anyway, the reports say this facility was suddenly completely abandoned back in the early 1970s. The reason given, just extreme weather alert. It's no details, just everybody out. Now.
That phrase, extreme weather alert, in Soviet documentation from that period. It's almost code. Major facilities aren't just evacuated instantly like that for a snowstorm, especially not permanently. It implies something much, much bigger. Something potentially catastrophic, dangerous, and probably something they didn't want to fully document. The vagueness itself is suspicious.
Exactly. So Kazakh authorities, likely pushed by Moscow, decide they need to recover equipment and data from Benin. But the report details all these problems. Continuous hazardous weather means no helicopters, the only railway line. Decommissioned. The terrain is brutal. So they plan for a team of 6 researchers to travel 70 miles on foot, a 48-hour trek across frozen tundra. Andrew looks at this and thinks, wait a minute, 6 guys are going to carry tens of thousands of rubles worth of presumably heavy scientific gear 70 miles back. It just doesn't add up. His conclusion. That first team wasn't going for salvage. They were going to assess the damage from whatever the weather event really was. So, Report 1 outlines the problem, the mysterious abandonment. Report 2 outlines this frankly unbelievable recovery plan. Andrew then searches for the follow-up. Report 3. One saying, okay, mission accomplished, or here's what they found, or even mission failed. But there's nothing. Absolutely zero mention of the Benin recovery mission or the names of those 6 researchers in any documents after November 1974. It's like they and the entire operation just vanished from the records, wiped clean.
A complete disappearance from the record like that is deeply concerning. It suggests the outcome was so bad or so sensitive that total erasure was deemed necessary. Let's think about what kind of extreme atmospheric event could ground aircraft indefinitely and necessitate such a risky ground mission only for the team to disappear. Andrew speculates about intense electrical storms or maybe strong electromagnetic interference. Something like a natural electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, is not just science fiction. A powerful enough event, natural or otherwise, could disable electronics, communications, navigation systems over a wide area. It would effectively isolate the region and maybe cause other, more direct harm.
Andrew's own conclusion, and he admits it's speculation based on the missing pieces, is chilling. He truly believes something extraordinary happened at the Benin research site. Not just bad weather, something that terrified the Soviets enough to seal it off, send in what he calls a human probe mission, and then bury the whole thing. He makes this stark comparison. Think of it like Chernobyl before Chernobyl, a hidden disaster. And if something like that did happen, some kind of environmental or technological catastrophe locked away in remote Kazakhstan, what does that mean now? Especially if its legacy is unmanaged or forgotten. It's a deeply unsettling thought. So tonight we've touched on 3 very different kinds of chilling events. The unexplainable encounter with the Snowman, the raw human terror of the attack in the woods, and this potential hidden history, the scientific mystery in Benin province. Each story leaves us with questions, reminding us that there's a lot we don't understand, or maybe aren't meant to. It brings to mind what Andrew, the scientist, said. You know, climate change is obviously a huge issue, but he worries about other things too. Things he described as far more urgent and mysterious. Things that'll wipe us out far quicker and far more painfully. A sobering perspective, isn't it? What else might be out there, hidden from view? We really hope exploring these accounts has given you something to think about. Maybe made you look at the shadows a little differently. If you found these stories as compelling as we did, please do consider liking this, sharing it with others who appreciate the unsettling, and subscribing to our channel, The Deep Dive. We'll be back soon to delve into more strange and mysterious corners of the world. Thanks for joining us.